Hi, everybody. This is Kimberly, and Mary Payne is in Paris, and she is abandoned us. So we have her replacement, but he might just do the whole thing in Mary Payne voice. We have Matt Marr from Reality Gaze.
How y'all doing? I'm Mary Payne. I just got back from Ole Miss, had to go see my son. He's just a lovely girl, just happy for him. Couldn't be more proud of him. Yes, I am 14th generation Mississippian, and I just want to let you know that what does that mean? It means not a lot. Just means I'm pretty and I got good hair. That's what it means right there. That's what I'm gonna tell you. And be sure to use your Hello Lash Pink Shade 20 code. Pink Shade 20. If you don't use the code, Ingrid will find your IP address and I will send you a very nasty email. Pink Shade 20. Pink Shade. Ginger.
Stop barking.
In your sister's food.
I don't know why Kimberly says I go on vacation too much. I've only gone on vacation 17 times this year. That's not a lot. I've been at home for 3 days straight. That I don't go on vacation. I'm going to Bald Head Island 5 times in May, but that's not too many times.
Not too many
and then
times.
I go to Vegas, and then I went to the Paris in Vegas, and then I went to the Paris in Paris.
In Paris.
That's not too many vacations. I don't know what she's talking about. I said that once to her. She got so mad at me. She's like, I do not go on vacation a lot. And I was like, are you serious? You have to be serious right now.
I do not go on vacation a lot. Now, culturally in Mississippi, you need to take at least 3 months off for your family because it's hot. I will say this. Also one of the hardest working people in the business. So
yeah, she really is.
So yes, please drag her, and yes, please take your vacations, Mary Payne. She's gonna kill
and also
me for
use
that
her
impression. I'm gonna get a text or a FaceTime call, and I'm already nervous for it.
But she specifically said, "Don't talk about me. We're gonna talk about you." Then.
Come on, we're gonna talk about you. We love you.
Yeah.
I will say, I'm not kidding. I don't know if you can see it on the video.
Your lashes.
Mary Payne gave me a Hello Lash. That shit is some of the most amazing shit I've ever used on my eyes. And I've even been putting it on my eyebrows because my eyebrows are light. I've bought like 4 of them for gifts for people. They're a perfect, like little, just like bridal shower, whatever. They're just a perfect little, I mean, my friend, she's like, was this vegan? And I looked it up and I was like, bitch, it is. Take it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't mean it to be a commercial, but this shit is real. And it's amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
And now we're obsessed with these lipsy things. These are, she sent me one of these. Do you know these?
What is this?
Stops. Well, when you suck on a straw, it's good for not staining your teeth, but then you get the wrinkle lines here on your lip, like the smoker lines. So this, like, it spreads it out so you don't do it. It's genius.
Why did Mary Payne give me a lipsy?
I'm sorry. I'll send you one.
Plastic surgery, so I don't want wrinkles on my lips. Shit. Anyway, well, I hope she's having fun in Paris.
I hope she's having fun. I hope she's wearing a beret. If I don't see her wearing a beret, I'm going to be very upset.
She would look cute in a beret.
She would look really cute in a beret, actually. She's a good beret face. But we are here to talk about 90 Day Fiance, as per usual. But I'm really excited to talk about it with Matt because I've been listening to you and Jake talk about it. So I might interrupt with some comments on your previous episodes.
Sure. Yes, please interrupt. Yes. Plug. Yes. Love to poodle. Shout out to Reality Gaze podcast, available where you get all your podcasts, please.
Absolutely.
Please. Yes. Okay. We're doing season 11, right?
Yeah.
11. Okay, good.
Angel numbers.
It is. Michael's watching over us. He's here right now. Stay strong. Stay strong. Stay strong. 11.
What did you think of Darcy's look when she came out at the reunion?
Wonderful and completely inappropriate.
Okay.
but that is Darcy. Although that's,
Yeah, yeah.
but you know what? I'm starting to dress up more. I've actually gotten into fat. I don't look like it now. I'm wearing a Wonder Woman t-shirt. It's because it's Beyonce day for me tonight, and I'm getting ready later. But I kind of have decided. I went, oh, I kind of want to be the bitch that dresses a little too much for an occasion. Why not?
Yeah, yeah, why not? Life is short. I'm learning how to put on makeup for the first time in
What?
45 years. Yeah.
What? Kimberly.
I know, and Katie, like, does makeup, like,
Go-
she knows makeup, and she's tried to teach me, and I'm like, "No, no makeup. I can't wear
Mind. Well,
anything."
maybe Kate, can we take you to Ulta? An Ulta
Yeah,
trip?
I need an Ulta trip for sure because I don't know what I'm
I
doing.
I will totally come over and well, I don't want to affect Katie. I mean, let Katie do it, but
She would
I
be
just
very
love
jealous.
she would. We can do it together. I just love makeup. Honestly, she can do your makeup, but I would love to just take a gummy and sit there and talk to y'all.
Okay, we would love that
Give me a high
anytime.
noon and I'm a happy bitch. So, but no, yes, yeah. So Darcy's always gonna she's bringing the party. But thank God for Darcy and Stacey on this. I mean, this was a great season, but you just forget like what they're just reality show pros. They get it.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
Florian, I think, has gotten it. And I
Yeah.
actually feel like based off his answers, I'm kind of excited to see Georgie on the next season of Last Resort because I think he's getting it because they're going to be on.
Oh, I
This
didn't
is
even
not
think about that.
confirmed. This is but
Yeah,
Poodle
that
and I
sounds perfect. Yeah.
100% think they're going to be on.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Well, my parents they're not new to 90 Day, but they joined after Darcy. So I had to show them all of the photos of previous Darcy and
Ah,
Stacey. And I had to show them cutting on the bias
mm,
video. And, I just that's my job, is to educate them,
mhm.
and is the learning channel. And so I have to provide all of the context of Darcy in the past. Yeah.
I gotta say, now this makes Poodle angry, but my hands are dry. I'm gonna put on some lotion.
That's
While we're talking, it's L'Occitane, French for Mary Payne. Um,
fine.
uh, but anyway, I, 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 I honestly have to say, I think I learned a big learning tool in realizing that I was codependent was watching Darcy. So
That's
it still is a
yeah.
learning channel.
It's still the learning channel.
Still the
I
learning
love
channel.
that.
Yeah.
I love
So
that.
anyway, um, all right. What'd you think of this episode of 90 Day?
I thought it was good. I thought it was entertaining. I
I thought
did
so too.
miss Mina and Mark. I'm enjoying them, so I was a
Mm,
little sad we didn't get them, but I enjoyed it overall.
I would always have them in spite of the throuple. Do y'all hate the throuple as much as we do?
Yeah, Mary Payne specifically hates the throuple, and she's at the point where she wants to just stop talking about the throuple. Like, it was like Big Ed, and we're just like, no, we're pretending he's not on the show. But people want her to talk about the throuple, so she begrudgingly talks about the throuple. But it's mostly like, I don't know. And then they ate Mexican food, and I hate them. That's basically what we do. We hate them. We think they're sex tourists and reality fame whores,
Mhm.
and he's like a golden doodle that doesn't seem to, like, know what's going on at any time,
Very
and has
true.
that weird creepy smile on his face all
Mhm.
the time.
Mhm.
And she's a narcissist. I agree with your assessment that she might be a narcissist,
No, yeah.
and they possibly want to bring her to America as a sex slave immigrant
That's
who
what Jake thinks too, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and
But
with a hint of white savior complex, even though she's
there's
also
always a
an immigrant.
dash. Always
Yeah,
a dash.
a sprinkle of white savior
Sprinkle,
complex.
sprinkle. I wonder
Yeah.
if I kind of last time said this and Jake went, "Oh, I think you could be right." And it's made me I still hate watching them, but maybe it provides a little bit. I think Ani is conning them. I think she's
Yes.
totally and when I think about it from that lens, I kind of get excited to see her con them and then just go their own way like that woman did. I didn't watch the show, but like the woman from Seeking Sister Wives who just
Yes.
conned the hell out of them and took $10,000. I'm like, "Get yours, Ani. Get yours."
Yeah. I'm kinda
So that's
rooting
what
for
I'm
her.
hoping.
Well, I
Mm,
think we've gotten hints of that in the previews
yeah.
for the season, that there is, like, she has a different name, and she might be doing this with other people, and there might be they've been giving her money, and yeah,
Oh, very excited.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited too. All right. So, shall we
They
jump
deserve it.
in?
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Okay. Let's talk about Stephen and Maddie. Stephen and
Yeah.
shall we? Let's talk about them. Do you enjoy bidet?
I've never used one.
Oh,
Um, I know I'm missing out. I just in my mind, I need a wipe to get like, I need, like,
yeah.
some sort of
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
friction, some sort of, like, pressure to get
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like water would get rid of any
By the
particles.
way, Mary Payne is cringe. She's got going, oh
She's
God. Oh God. Dave, they're talking about wives. They're talking about wives. Oh God. I can't ever leave again.
I would like a bidet for the front area. Like, I feel like that I like,
It's a
for
game
when I
changer.
it that I've it really?
I I buy like one case of toilet paper a year now. So I'm a
Wow.
fan of it because you still do the thing, but you just get a little wash first. Again, I can
Oh, so
hear
you do
Mary
the
Payne going,
wash
stop
first.
talking, stop it.
No, we're gonna keep going, Mary Payne. That's what
Mhm.
happens when you
That's what
leave.
happens.
When the boss goes away, the other podcasters will play and talk about poop. So, I hope you're enjoying Paris. So, do you do the water first?
Yes, you do the water first, and because it shoots right up there. I mean, you gotta get careful or be careful or you're gonna get pregnant.
Oh,
And so
wow.
it's just butt pregnant though, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, no,
um,
it's shooting up the club,
yeah,
as
mhm.
we learned
The
from
yeah, the
Lalu.
back door, yeah,
The
mhm.
back door,
The
shooting up
back
the
door,
back door of the club.
yeah, the
Mhm.
patio, the smoking lounge,
Yeah,
smoking, yeah. Anyway, I'm a fan. They do it much more in Europe. I don't know
yeah.
why. Um, I feel like my dad, son of a plumber. I don't know why we didn't have one, but whatever. Um, we should move on because we're gonna get a
Well,
letter from.
I do have to say because, Katie has long had this idea, TM, um, for a product called Bidet Mate, and you say it with an Australian accent, and it's for cleaning down under, and, she was obsessed with this. She's like, "We're gonna make this product, make $1,000,000," and then we talk about it on the podcast all the time, and finally someone sent us that it already exists,
Yeah, it
and
exists. I have one.
and, I haven't told her yet, and she doesn't
Oh,
listen to Pink Shade. And she
oh,
brought it up again at our recording on Saturday, and I'm like, "Should I say no, I can't say it. Should I say
Kimberly, you
it?"
have
She's not
to.
in the right headspace. It's 2025, Matt. I don't know if she can handle that dream being shattered.
Just send her a text. Just send her a text with a screen grab of it
And then
already, and
turn off my phone, and
you're
then
like,
turn
"Look
off
what
my
I
phone.
found," and you're like, "Hey, all right, I'm on vacation. See you in a week." Whatever. That's what you do. That is what you do.
You just light the thing on fire and then walk
Yes.
away.
That's what
Yeah.
you do. You light it on
Okay.
fire and you walk.
Good advice.
So, okay, so Stevie is, they're gonna save money. They're gonna get married sooner, and she's kind of on board with this now. And she says she asked him, "Will you be able to work sooner?" And Maddie is very much like, "Yes." One of the most like driven people that I think that we've seen that like he wants to get a job.
Yeah.
Um, Also, I feel like it's not being said, but I wonder too if they're worried if Stevie's dad Perry is gonna make it. He doesn't
Yes.
seem that sick to me, but the way they talk, I'm imagining it's some type of cancer. We have not
Yeah.
heard, and
Yeah.
that is their business. They don't need to tell us this. But yeah, that's what because she says, uh, I think she would do it anyway, but in the moment she says, I don't know if I could walk down the aisle if my dad's not there to marry me or walk
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Mhm. Now, Mary Payne had her on the show, and her dad is still with us.
Oh, good.
So, she could have waited, but I think, it was they've rushed it up to, like,
Well,
14 days or something.
yeah. At least Maddie's, wants to work. I love him. He loves Dr. Pepper. That's all I needed to know. That's all I
I love
needed.
them. I love anybody who he seems to, like, wanna try American stuff, and I like that. I think that's fun. And he doesn't seem to wanna well, he seems to wanna change her. I take that back. I That's what I worry about when people come from strictly very religious cultures. They
Mm.
are gonna start dictating how she dresses and things like that, but he hasn't done that yet. He just doesn't want her to look at boobs anymore.
He just thinks that she's bisexual.
Yeah,
So, which I could see it. I don't
I could
know if
s
she is, but I
yeah,
could see it.
yeah,
But and also maybe he's just not around art. You're just painting naked people
yeah.
when you're an artist. I
I
mean,
think
that's
come
just what
back
you
to
do.
him in a year after living in, like, a college town, and he'll be much more
I
open
think.
to
Oh, is Hattiesburg a college town?
it is. So it's not
Oh,
like Jessica's cow t patty town. It's,
yes.
it looks more like that, but it's actually more young and hip, I think.
What
They
school's
do
there?
have Confederate statues up, I think, but, th but there are young
Yeah.
people there.
Oh, wow. Well, good, good. I'm glad that well, I just saw on Instagram apparently Maddie's in love with their new cat. They got a
Oh.
kitten. And it's like you see the kitten just sleeping on him shirtless.
Oh, I love
He
that.
loves a thirsty Instagram pic. He loves it. I'm fine with it too.
Yeah.
Um, so okay. So they decide to go back to Hattiesburg and they pull up on dad. And I love that this reminded me of like my family where like dad's giving him shit like, well, you didn't answer when I called you. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
such like a small town thing because you're like, well, what else were you doing?
yeah.
Um, it's like I can't really do it with Jake because it makes him angry, but like where I'm from, like if I call you, I probably wouldn't do it to you because I mean we're friends, but I'll call somebody and they'll answer the phone and they say hello and I say, "What are you doing?" And that's just what I do. You just say, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "Oh, nothing. What are you doing?" You just kind of talk for a little bit and then you get into it. And Jake's like, "I hate that," and I
I
feel
hate
it.
that. And
That's
Mary
what
Payne will be like, "I talked to Jake for or I talked to Maddie for 4 hours on the phone the other day," and I'm like, "What? What? That's way too long. I don't
well,
wanna talk to someone for 5 minutes on the phone.
I'm gonna
Text
be.
me."
There's wine involved.
Okay, yeah.
So there is yeah, there is wine involved. And it's a lot, with Mary Payne, it makes me feel like I'm like part of a family or something that I would never because I live by myself very happily. I adore my life actually. But I'm talking to Mary Payne and then one kiddo comes in, then we're
Yeah,
talking, then Ginger did, then there's a dog situation, and then Dave, and then we're talking about Oklahoma. And so it's like a whole catch up. So
I understand.
anyway, um, and then always too, one of our podcaster friends, like always Kate Casey texts her, or and then we're both texting Kate Casey while we're talking to
Yeah.
Mary, like the whole thing. It's incestuous. Where are we? Okay, so it's so dad shows up. He's like, you didn't answer. She's like, he's like, I didn't hear it ring. She said, well, um, she looks says, "Well, he took me by surprise." And I love the way she said, "But you already know it. Did he show you this?" And Perry says, "I love him because he's so whip smart. He's so quick." Because he said, "Yeah, I saw it, but it wasn't there," and kind of
Yeah.
smiles.
Wasn't on your hand.
I love this man. I love him so much. He reminds me of like my dad and just my family.
I
Um,
know. Oh,
very much.
and I was happy to hear on Mary Payne's interview that someone did correct him when he kept saying, "Is he gonna make you wear a jihad?" It was just not on camera, but they did correct him. So hopefully he'll
Oh,
stop saying that. And then I have no notes for him. He's great.
I, I, yeah, I think, yeah, I think, yeah. So, um, but anyway, he's like, it's the same old 90-day trope, y'all. He's like, are you sure that's what you want? And Maddie's like, yes, I can prove it to her. And then Perry said, I want to know your opinion on this. Perry looks at Stevie and says, yeah, but you lied to me for 2 years. And Stevie immediately says, no, I didn't. What do you think about that?
That's that whole "I just didn't tell you." That's
Mm,
still a lie.
that's still
That's
a
a lie
lie.
by omission. That's still a huge lie. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know why people do that. He's coming tomorrow. We've been dating for 7 years and he's coming tomorrow and I'm
tomorrow.
just now mentioning it. Yeah. I don't know why they do that.
I will say that's kind of one thing that Stevie has she has that stubborn streak. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Where she just can't help but just show her ass a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I don't mind that.
yeah, I don't, yeah, whatever. We
She
all,
claps back on people on social media, and I do like that.
oh, she does. Good for
She
her.
does, but in a kind of sassy way. It doesn't seem bitchy or anything. It's kind of sassy.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. We love her. Like it is neck and neck for us, and I can't believe I'm saying this, of Stevie and Maddie or Shekinah and Sarper for heart of the
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, who knew?
Shockingly, I never thought I'd say that.
Yeah. But although she kind of was posting, we'll talk about it later, but she was posting on Instagram and stuff like that of maybe there's trouble in paradise. I don't know.
Oh, no.
They better
Are
not
they
break up before next month because Poodle and I want to go to the boot camp.
Yeah. I need
Yeah.
you to go.
Yeah. I
Also,
like
are
that
they just
even though
trying to
you
get on Last Resort?
oh, that's true. I love that you immediately, even though you could go too, you were like, I need you to go.
No, I don't no, I'm not driving back up to LA. I mean, I do have to have a doctor's appointment up in LA, so I'm thinking, like, I should probably, like, see some friends up there when I go, or could I go to the boot camp class? I'm worried I'm just too out of shape, honestly. But I
I'm worried for that too. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah.
I'm very concerned. But whatever. I've seen Starpers throw up on his ship. So if I throw up in his boot camp class, oh well.
Oh, well.
What are we gonna do? All right. So and Stevie asked her dad, would you walk me down? He's like, of course, I'd love to. And she's like, so here we go. And everything's happening now in 14 days. And
Mhm.
the next day they are pulling up to a wedding venue, and Mahdi, or I always say Mahdi, Maddie is not feeling well because he not only ate pork for the first time, but he ate pork belly, which is really just balls deep diving into pork.
Is
Truly.
it literally, the
It's the
belly
belly of
of
a pork. Yeah, pork belly.
wow.
It can be very good, like Korean barbecue and things like that.
Mhm.
Fantastic. But it's also really fatty and just heavy.
Yeah. No, I felt him because I've been a vegetarian for
Oh, then
30 plus years.
oh
So I
my
think if
gosh.
I ate meat now, I feel like that would be me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, very much so. Oh, God, I bet you're heart healthy as can be. Not that
Not
you
really. Because when you become vegetarian in the 90s, the only things around that you can eat are fries and chips and things like that. So
Ah.
we
How
didn't
old
have
were
a
you when
lot
you
of
became vegetarian?
12.
Oh, your parents had fun with you.
My mom like sent me the doctor to get my blood tested all the time to make sure I had enough protein. She,
Oh my
like,
god.
signed us up for, like, vegetarian magazines. We were the only vegetarians probably in the whole
Oh,
town.
wait, so
Yeah.
your family was
No,
vegetarian?
no, they were just it was just me. And my mom was just so worried, but that she wanted to be supportive. My dad thought it would be a phase, and then, but he doesn't know how stubborn I am. And then my
Oh,
brother would wave meat in my face and thought it was so funny. Like, "Look at it's almost
oh my
touching your
gosh.
face." Yeah,
Good for you.
yeah. There
Look
was a
at
cute
you.
boy in my class that was a vegetarian,
Okay.
and, I really had a crush on him. Um, but then it just stuck,
So
you know?
it wasn't for any moral reasons at all?
We saw, one of those videos about, like, meat processing, and then
Yeah.
I found out he was a vegetarian, and those 2 things together, I was like,
Okay.
"This is my
Wow.
path in life.
That
This
is
is
the
how I will
that is
win
the
his heart."
perfect tell me you're Kimberly without telling me you're Kimberly, because you have these, like, you have this beautiful moral code, and then at the same time, you're trash like the rest of us.
I'm so trash like the rest of us. But, like, now it's literally for animals. Like, if I think of an
Yeah.
animal being hurt, I literally I wanna throw up. Like, it makes me
Yeah.
so sick to my stomach. But that's how it all started. Yeah, it was Casey. I had such a crush on him.
Oh,
Yeah.
Casey. That was
Yeah.
such a '90s name, wasn't it?
I know.
So many
It was.
Caseys.
Yeah.
Oh. Alright, so, anyway, he's not feeling well. They're driving around, and they're gonna meet her friend Grace, which we have met a little bit before. Um, and Stevie's kinda she's like, "We've done this is crazy," and she's like, "But we've done crazier things, so I'm" you know, I think it's gonna be fun. Of course, Maddie is like, well, it's gonna be like one of those weddings in a movie, right? And I don't know if he knows how expensive weddings are in America.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know what movie he's seen too. I want to there's several different kinds of weddings in American movies. So I'm curious.
there's a
Was it
lot.
Father of the Bride? What did he see?
Definitely the wedding singer.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely the wedding singer. I think possibly My Best Friend's Wedding, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Although there's a gay character, they wouldn't show it there. Never mind, he
Yeah,
could
they
never
and
have
they wouldn't
seen
show
that.
Wedding Crashers because there's like
N No.
sex and stuff in that.
You know what? I don't know what wedding movie he saw. Maybe just Father of the Bride. Well, no, but Martin
Yeah.
Short's gay as hell. Well, they don't say
Yeah.
he's gay in that movie. So,
He's
man, I don't know. This is a good I almost wanna I would love to ask him that. What wedding
yeah.
but also too, I mean, I'm not gonna act like I'm well versed and speak for all of Europe. Um, but I know that I had a friend who got married in Austria, where she's from, but weddings just aren't they're not a business in a lot of countries over there,
Mm,
and maybe
mhm.
it's not in around I don't know. Now,
Yeah.
that said, we found, Jiggy Jiggy, we've seen what a big production that wedding was. Of course,
Yeah.
that wasn't in Europe, but,
And Tiger Lily, that was in Jordan, right? And
mhm.
was that in Jordan? Yeah. That was a huge affair.
That
That
was a
was
huge affair. So I don't know in Iran, what the come at us,
well,
Iranian
they said
bunkies,
that the men and women are in different rooms and you can hear each other celebrating.
I know it's like they need to have a glory hole or something where you can just kinda look in, see your wife.
Are they passing like kites like I Love After
Yeah.
Lockup between the
Yes,
cells? Yeah.
yes, exactly. That's exactly what was happening. Okay, so she's like, "No, it's not gonna be like that. We can't afford that." So they meet Andrea. Andrea's the wedding planner. What do you think of this space?
It's much more my space than the other space that we see later, the Long Island space.
Yeah.
Um, this was more like rustic chic kind of, I
Mhm. It
guess
was
you'd
really
call it.
cute. Mhm.
Yeah, I liked it. And I liked it was like an yeah, I liked it. It was distressed and cute. Yeah.
It looked shabby chic, yes. I was a
Shabby chic. That's the word I'm looking for.
and
Yeah.
it looked very Stevie. I thought it was cute too. And they're only gonna wanna do, Claire's there with her husband, Whit, and that cute ass baby. My
Oh
God, what
yeah,
a
that
chubby,
baby's
cute
cute.
baby. And they're just having a wedding with, close friends. That's it. Again, we get, the 90-day tropes. Claire is worried that she's rushing things, which I know it's kinda like Mark and Mina, but a little different. Whereas Mark and Mina, I get frustrated because everyone's like, "But are they gonna do this?" And I'm like, "They have a baby. Like, they
Yeah.
have a fucking
It's
baby.
done.
It's
It's done.
done." And
Yeah.
this isn't as severe, but at the same time, it's like, he can't go back to his country.
Yeah.
Like, it's
The line
done,
has been
y'all.
drawn in the
Yes.
sand. Yeah.
This is just a formality, you dumb bitches.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But anyway, she's worried, and she's like, "Well, Maddie, are your parents gonna FaceTime or Skype in?" And he in his Debbie Downer tone, his
Yeah.
flat he's like,
Yeah.
"No, if they see alcohol or co-ed, they won't be happy, and there will be rioting in the streets, and someone will be prosecuted, and my cousins might die. They are
Yeah.
super religious." So,
And the friend's like, "Oh, okay.
okay.
Wish
"Wait,
I
could
hadn't
you hand
brought
me my
that up."
nail file?" Yeah, she's just like, "What do I do?" So and Claire's like, this is where the shit kicker comes in. Claire says, "Well, Stevie, do you wanna have something to represent you? What about some paintings?" And she kinda jokingly says, "Maybe you could put the painting of me up." And that's where the bomb is dropped at. Stevie painted Claire nude, live and in person.
Mhm.
And
Those
Matt
boobs were in the same room as her.
Mhm. Which I guess too, you would think that he wouldn't think a big deal about that, but I guess the painting part. But maybe women don't even get naked around other women in Iran.
I
Probably
mean,
not.
well, we did again, I know it's not the same in Jordan, but we did see Tiger Lily Adnan. He was getting like oiled up by his friends in that spa before
Yeah.
his wedding.
We did see
They were like
that.
massaging each other's groin area.
Yeah, we saw that. That was that was great.
Do you need a second?
Where what's happening? Okay. I'm here. I'm here. Hello, Lash. Pink Shade 20. Pink Shade 20, everybody. That
Ginger, stop barking.
that's what brings me back. That's what brings me back.
Oh,
Okay. Have I told you about my friend Mary? Oh gosh, I
yeah.
just love Mary. Anyway. Okay. So Stevie, so Maddie is shocked and he's like, this is new to me. I kind of do see Stevie's point where why would she think to tell Maddie this? Because it's such a part of her life, but he's butthurt and that she never told him this. And he didn't know that she was painting girls in person. Again,
Yeah, he thought they were sending her photos of the boobs and then she would paint them off the photos.
which
Still bothered him, but not as much.
not as much, but still, like, I don't think he knows a lot about art.
Yeah.
But now his mind is thinking, is she bisexual again? And also, too, one reason probably he's thinking this because not that it's necessarily fair. I think it's a bit of more naivete, at least I think. He asked Stevie this several times way before. And each
Yeah.
time Stevie dodges the question and doesn't answer him. And I
Right.
understand why she's like, I'm not answering that because she thinks it's a stupid question. But it's also like, but also you forget, like, this guy lived in a place where you can't walk a dog on a fucking leash.
Right.
So there is going to be a little bit of hand holding of telling and that's just what I think sometimes Americans don't want to accept. But you have to in some cases because this person is,
Yeah.
how would they know if they
Yeah.
don't know before? So
He needs to hear a flat out no. I'm
yeah,
not.
she finally says this now, kind of like under her breath. But it doesn't seem to really suffice for him. He still seems out of it. Claire's like, this is awkward. This is
Yeah.
awkward. Wit, I thought your mother was a bitch. God damn. But so they leave because it's getting dark and they have to leave, which again, if you're not from a small town, you don't understand that. Jake and I talked extensively about this. But because if you live in LA, you're in LA. Has anyone ever said to you, well, Kimberly, I got to get going. It's getting dark.
No.
No,
Yeah,
because
no.
there's light where we are from. It's fucking dark.
Yeah.
It is pitch black and dark. So there's a lot of people that don't like to be out after dark. So
That's so
anyway,
funny.
yeah, it's a thing.
I noticed when they walked outside, there was a 90s family, like not a town car. I don't know the word for it, like a station wagon. And it had
Oh,
wood paneling on the side.
yes,
And there was a bunch of luggage stacked on top. It was full on National Lampoon's
yes,
Vacation.
it was. Good eye. Good eye. I saw
I
it
was
and I
like,
didn't
is
write it down.
that real? Is that like I honestly, my mind was like movie prop.
Yeah.
They're
I
shooting
mean,
something there.
if you go home where I'm from, you'll still see people driving like a Dodge Dynasty and PT Cruisers. I mean, the good old days. Um, anyway, I don't know if people even remember those cars. I'm dating myself. So, do you remember a PT Cruiser? You don't, do you?
I gotta look it up. I have car blindness, so I don't know
Oh.
any cars from another.
Ah, okay.
We talk about
Gotcha.
it all the time because I would not be good if I witnessed a crime, because I would be like,
Mm,
it had doors and there would be like, was it was a sports car? Was it an SUV? I'd be like, I
I didn't pay
it had
attention.
wheels.
That's
I don't know.
fine. I get it. Um, okay. So they're in the car and Stevie's like, are you mad? He's like, I don't know. Should I be? And she said, if I thought it was bad, I would have told you. She said, I paint things like that all the time. You made it awkward in front of Clara. And he's like, well, you should have told me. Um, and she says, but I don't think he gets it. She's like, but this is normal for me. I'm not keeping secrets for you. It's just normal. So uh that's where he's like, brings up this makes me worry about bisexuality. And she's like, this is ridiculous. No, I'm not. I'm going to the car. I'm cold. And I just don't think he's under. He says, I hate it when something's okay for her, but not for me. I don't know if this is the same, but I think it's more of, to me, I think Maddie's an insecure guy. And
Yeah.
they're just, um, I said this on our pod too, but I just feel like he didn't really ever fit in. He was and that so I think, yes, he's in love with Stevie, but I think the fact that he wants to learn English, I think he knew that Iran was not for him. And
Yeah.
so I relate to that. And so I think that he because he said, less about her bisexuality. He said, but what if she leaves me because she wants to be with something I can't give her?
Right.
That's about him. So
Yeah. I say give it a year. I think he's going to be participating in a drag parade on Bourbon Street. I really think he's going to embrace.
I think he is going to love how much gay men love him.
Yes.
He's gonna love the flirts,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be, is he into that at all? No, I don't think so, but he's just gonna be one of those straight men that likes to be flirted with. I hope
Mhm.
he never meets Poodle, because Jake will be disgusting.
Yeah.
Like,
Disgusting. Yeah.
just so gross, so gross.
Can I ask you a question? So one thing we're always wondering, she has 2 children. They mentioned it
Mhm,
once in the very
mhm,
first episode, never again. She told Mary Payne she had decided they were not gonna be on camera.
mhm.
I do feel like, and I totally respect that. I do feel like we are missing out on a part of the relationship because we don't know how he is with the kids. Like, because they never mention them anymore.
That's kind of one of the problems with 90 Day is they're very much like, if you don't see it on screen, it's not
It didn't
there.
happen.
It's not
Yeah.
real. And
Uh-huh.
I actually think there's a way to do this, to say that she has kids and that Maddie is meeting those kids and is a part of those kids' lives. And
Mhm.
we can hear about it and talk about it. And then, even if it's just one conversation and she says, you know, I just don't, but they never want you to say, like, they never want someone to say, I just don't want my kids to be on camera, because 90 Day never wants you to think this is a television show. It's like
Right.
they really want it to be like you are pulling back a curtain and looking in
Yes.
someone's life, even
Yes,
though it's a
exactly.
produced reality show. I agree with you.
Mhm.
I think that they're missing that, and they should not show the kids, but at least show or discuss the relationship.
Right. Or and said, like, maybe that she shouldn't have mentioned it then in the first episode, but then you'd have the situation with, like, Lauren and Faith. He had 2 kids, and we never heard about them, and then people came at him on social media because they discovered he had kids. So, I guess you can't really win. You either mention the kids,
Yeah, you can't.
or if you
Well,
don't mention them, everyone's like, "She's hiding the fact that she has kids."
also, people were coming at him because Lauren is a horrible human
He's a
being
horrible
and wasn't
person.
paying child support and trying to go to the
Horrible
Philippines
human
so he
being.
didn't have to pay his bills. So
Yeah.
that's a little different.
Different. Yeah. You're
Yeah, a
right.
little different. Um, let's just get him out of the way. Can we talk about this thruple?
Yeah.
Okay, y'all. Matt, Amani, I never say her name right, and Ani.
They
I
don't
can't
say her
talk.
name right either. He says it wrong. He
He says
says Amani.
Amani,
It's spelled
Amani,
Amini.
and then
Amani.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
at this point, let's just call her hair, because
Yeah.
that's the start of this episode, y'all, is that weave sitting on the sink.
I
Just that
how did I
that
miss that?
oh, you missed it? It's a
I
quick
missed
thing
it.
where Matt is just washing his hands, and it's the very first opening shot. He's brushing his teeth, and her hair is just sitting right by the sink,
Wow.
looking up at him going, "Love me, Matt. I've
Love
been
me.
here always. I'll never leave you." Anyway,
Now I'm
um,
picturing if she does ever leave him and he's just cradling the hair, just
he's just trailing
stroking
the
the
hair.
hair
Yeah.
in a dark room.
I'm sure he is smelling it. Just so we won't go through this as quickly as Mary Payne, but it's not going to be long, y'all. Also, there wasn't a ton for them.
Yeah.
But basically, y'all met said. So he's calling Eric, his friend, Eric, who has been in a polyamorous relationship before. Although it seems like kind of like it seems a little bit like Eric's version of polyamory. It's almost like Reba from Last Resort's version of polyamory is much different than Gino and Jasmine's.
Uh-huh.
And as because y'all don't forget, the sign your polyamorous relationship is not going to go well is when you decide to have your first meeting about the rules 60 days before you get married on top of the hill, drinking
Yeah.
cheap ass wine, wearing fucking Kardashian clothes, and putting it in
Mhm.
your notes app.
Yeah.
That's not really going to, that's not really a discussion, shall we
No.
say?
Yeah.
But whatever. But he talks to Eric and he's saying he's upset because Amani, like, basically, wasn't she just waiting to tell him? I mean, she couldn't have been happier to tell him she loves
This
more,
is what
more than
she
she loves you.
wanted.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. It's totally what she wanted. What a,
Yeah. She wants all to be the most wanted one, and then the 2 others are just fawning over her.
yes. Yes.
She's loving this.
It's gross when you say it. Um,
Yeah.
it's gross when you see it, but it's really gross when you say it, Kimberly. So now, so Eric, he's telling Eric about, and Eric goes, he gets like, sounds like there's some jealousy. And I'm like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, calm person in the fucking room. You have no idea. We are like, Ani and Matt are like sitting in a fucking wine bar, and we're hearing like 3 doors down.
Okay.
This pita's delicious. That's what
There's
we're hearing.
cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. She left the cheese on the table and went to
Yes.
scream.
Yes. What is dumb bitch. Okay, so
And then he was like, "Girls, girls, calm down."
what I think Matt says, which is not, I don't think, a good reason. Matt says, this was fun and exciting at first, and now I'm not sure. That is not the reason to jump into an open relationship, or actually maybe open relationship if you want fun. But for a polyamory, at least all the friends that I know, and I know a lot of people that are polyamorous, it is not about fun and exciting. It's about, if they're a polyamorous person, they don't feel completed or fulfilled
Mm.
in one loving relationship. They need to be in a relationship with someone else. That
Mhm.
is Amani, because she likes the attention, although she's not really poly, she's just a narcissist.
Yeah.
But anyway, so even when he said that, I went, y'all didn't even go in this for the right reasons. You just want, well, again,
No.
we talked about it, but
Also, and there are kids involved. You shouldn't
yeah,
be fun and exciting should not be what you're looking for when you have kids involved too.
exactly. Exactly. So I
They
kind of,
should be just in an open relationship where they bring in
yeah,
someone sex friends. They have some sex
yeah.
friends. That's what they really want, I think.
I feel like there's, at least in my experience, and y'all can come at me if I don't mean to upset anybody. I'm not making generalization, but I'm basically saying, because I know that we have a lot of polyamorous, there's a lot of polyamorous bunkies out there, but I'm just saying, in my experience, I either find there's nothing in the middle. Either my friends that are polyamorous, they went to therapy, they talked about it
Mhm.
for 2 years before they even fucking
Mhm.
did anything. They made extensive rules, made sure everyone was safe, and did it that way. Or there's one person who's codependent, and then there's another person that's on a narcissism self-centered scale that needs to be
Yeah.
loved by more people, like this,
Mhm.
and they jump into it. And I
Yeah.
kind of feel like I see those two extremes, and
Mhm.
it it's not good. It's not
Also,
good.
I think you almost need to have more than 3 people. You need because 3 is such an uneven number that there's always gonna be someone that's left out. So, if they had a few sex friends and it was less like, "We're not married to this person, it's just friends. We're just
Good
doing"
friends,
you
just
know? I
just
go on
doing things.
dates and it's fine. Yeah.
It's fine. So, Eric, the wonderful consoler, just says to Matt, "Well, you could lose everything." So that's helpful. Um,
Yeah, that's
Matt
great.
just starts crying. He's a pretty crier. Um, but
Yes.
whatever. And so he's like, "You need to talk to Amani." And Matt is like, thank you for kind of validating me, and I appreciate not being crazy. You're a good friend. I'm sure they'll end up fucking the same woman when he goes back to San Diego doing
Yeah.
some weird whatever they do. Um, anyway, y'all, um, some woman gets up and goes talks to Matt. I don't know who it is because she doesn't have any hair extensions in or a stitch of makeup. Um, if you, I mean, it's beautiful woman. Actually, looks like an
Yes.
actual human. Um, I'm like, girl, you look so much better without all that shit on you, but whatever.
I agree.
So they're going to the beach, and it's she's like, it makes me upset that he's taking this long to process this. And I'm like, already,
It's been not even 24 hours.
what a fucking just self-centered, horrible person. Even when earlier, like she has, I mean, this woman has no empathy. She's either I can't imagine what kind of children she's raising, truly.
Truly. Well, and their nanny spoke out and said she's horrible.
Yeah.
That they're both horrible and horrible to their kids, and the kids should be taken away.
Like, but not, I believe all that. I believe all that. I think this woman has mental illness, 100%. And so Matt walks out to the beach, and another, he's like, basically he's like, this is hard for me to accept how this went down. And he even said, how would you feel if I told you that she didn't love you as much? She doesn't answer the question, y'all, because we know how she would do. We know exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, I just missed the cheddar. Oh. That's how she would handle this. That's what we know.
Yeah.
100%. And so, but he said, but now you bonded with her, and I feel like you're pushing me out. And Manny's like, why are you switching on me like this? Why are you telling me this now? And I'm like, because he's your husband, bitch. Like, who else is he supposed to talk to?
Yeah. You're in this together, I thought.
And he kind of says, look, I need your help. That's why I'm coming to you. He said, I opened everything up. You're the most important thing in my life. He's like, I don't want to dismantle 10 years of our marriage. I wouldn't be doing all this if I didn't care for her and for you. And then did you see how she doesn't understand him. She doesn't feel anything for him. But you see how she'll just like switch. It's like it's a creepy, like cold turn. And she just goes, I love you, baby. Her voice becomes childlike again.
Yes. Yeah. And she's stroking his back.
Yeah. It's creepy. Anyway, Sean Robinson says we wish them the best.
Yeah, we got to move on because we're not going to solve anything here today with these people.
Okay, let's talk about you want to talk about Shawn and Alliya?
Sure.
Okay. So nothing like waking up and your fiance's mascara wand is stuck to your dog. That was gross.
It didn't bother me. I don't mind dogs. Just
I don't mind dogs.
It's
like,
gross.
why is it there? Whatever. So they're
the thing that bothers me, and that dog is cute, is she really wanted a tiny dog, but he did what he wanted to do and got a dog that he wanted.
Did he get the dog before or after they were together?
Before she came, and it was
they were
not
together.
Oh no, he got the dog after they were together. Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know, but that tracks because
he said, "I know you wanted a small dog."
This was not a good episode for Shawn, though. So this tracks
what I wanted. Yeah, it's just like the whole house is his, and it's all his stuff, and I don't feel like it's her world. Like nothing in it is her world yet, and so
no,
and that makes me sad for her.
Jake
she's not going to be comfortable here.
No, Jake said it several episodes ago. This relationship, the main plot of this, y'all, is not to he said and I agree, it's not that she's trans. It's the power dynamic and the social economic dynamic that he's in control of everything and she doesn't have anything.
I said exactly the same thing. He's so much older. He has so much more money. He's so much more established. She doesn't speak the language as well. She's going to come here and not be able to drive or work or do anything living in his house.
She's also incredibly emotionally immature.
Yeah. 'Cause
because of
she's
her
going through
trauma
this
and
major
they're like, yeah.
change. Yeah,
Mhm,
mhm.
mhm. It's really, uh,
That's my main concern, more than the
yeah.
trans issue, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, and that's the main concern to everybody else in his wonderful, accepting family and friends.
Mhm.
We're gonna get there. So they're gonna go up north to this engagement party in Sonoma. Have you been to Sonoma?
No.
Have you been to Napa at all?
I don't drink wine or anything.
Uh,
I've been on a few, like, wine
Still worth to
tour
go
places,
for
but
the
so I'm it's wasted on me, but
but it's so beautiful. I'd
I
go
know
drink
it
a
looked
Coke.
really
Just
beautiful.
sit in a vineyard and drink a Coke. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I would
Um,
bring, like, a Coke Zero in my purse and be that
yes,
person.
it's
That would be
great.
me.
So you know what? Go with Mary Payne and I. We'll drink enough wine for 3 people.
For the yes.
That plan that trip. So again, Shawn immediately is like, you got lots of explaining to do, Lucy. And Aaliyah's like, what? What is that? She doesn't get it.
She doesn't
Um,
get it.
she doesn't get it. And Sean's like, well, she doesn't get my humor because my humor is dry. And I was like, no, girl, your humor is old. I know because
Old.
I have the same humor, and I'll say things to people, and these young kids just fucking stare at me.
Mhm.
It's not a good feeling.
It's a problem with the youth. They're just not educated on pop culture. From they need we need a VH1 I Heart the 2000s or something
We
so
do.
that because I learned a lot about the 70s and the 80s from that show. So, and I was there for the 80s. I just
I heart
wasn't
the
paying
arts.
attention.
I heart the art. That's hard to say.
Uh-huh. I Heart
Um,
the Aughts. Yeah.
yeah, you can do it better. I have adult braces. So, okay. Um, so, they're talking about there could be snow. And now Aaliyah says this is important. She says to him, I don't like it when you do jokes around me and you're laughing and I'm just sitting there smiling. And then kind of even says, and please don't make the jokes about me.
Yeah.
Put a pin in that for later, y'all. Put a fucking pin
Mhm.
in that. And Shawn tries to say, well, I'm just trying to explain the age difference. To me, what Shawn is actually saying is, I'm uncomfortable with this situation. I'm possibly angry about this situation. I have resentment about the situation that I agreed to be in. We've all done that. That's the worst feeling, actually, being it to me, it's way worse when you're mad at yourself than when you're mad at someone
Mhm.
else. And I
Yeah.
think Shawn is having a bit of that, but he's taking this out on her because, especially in queer relationships, we are way used to somebody being with somebody younger. If I'm still single when I'm in my 60s and if I have a lot of money, y'all, you bet your ass I'm going to fuck a
Sure.
30-year-old. Yes,
Yeah.
someone to take care of me when I'm 70 and someone needs to wipe my ass. Of course, you don't need to wipe my ass because I'm going to
'Cause you
have
have
a
the bidet.
bidet. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, but I think that's really why he's joking so much about this.
Yeah.
And and does Aaliyah take everything seriously? She does. She is her life though is very serious right now because the stakes of her life are so high right now.
Mhm.
Um Anyway, they're driving to San Francisco. Again, another Barbara Streisand reference just missed. She doesn't get
Yeah.
it. But you can tell that she's a little in awe of seeing it, even though it reminds her of a horror movie.
I
Um,
loved that. That's my girl. Yeah.
that is not my girl. I don't see horror movies. I'm gonna go see Sinners tomorrow night only because everybody's talking about it, but I'm scared.
I only watch scary movies, because I feel like the world is so scary now, at least an alien isn't popping out of my chest.
I
So,
mean, you have a podcast called A Date with Dateline,
yeah.
so this is where you live. I would never go to a parking garage alone at night ever again if I listened to
No.
your show on repeat. No fucking way. So anyway, so they arrive at his mom's house. Now, his mom and Aaliyah are close. And this was really sweet, wasn't it? Like them
Very
meeting for the
sweet.
first time. They're crying, or well, the mom's crying, Aaliyah's crying. They've been looking for this so long. I want to ask you, is it Christmas or is the Christmas stuff up all the time? Because Jake couldn't
I
answer
think
this.
I think it's up all the time
Okay,
because
what I'm
yeah,
thinking.
no, I'm 90% sure it's up all the time. Yeah. And I've known people like that. It's
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Um,
Mhm. Tiffany
Also, I'm a
Jackson
Jew.
back.
I'm a Jew, so
Oh, that's
it's
true.
just weird
My
for
friend
me
Tiffany
anyways.
Jackson, her mother kept Christmas up. I mean, decorated the house, the lights all year long. All year long. 4th of
Wow, the
July.
lights too.
Yes, 4th of July, Christmas is always up. This is back in Long Grove, all the fucking time. And I remember uh when Tiffany's dad was arrested for making meth back in their shop behind the house. That was part of like in the police stories that like he went and hid, and she had in the yard, she had some of those giant Christmas presents, that are lighted that people hide in, and that's where her daddy DJ was found, was in the Christmas box hiding from the police.
That story went in such a different place than I thought it was gonna go.
Well, welcome to Oklahoma. So anyway, Feliz Navidad, motherfuckers.
I'm gonna be thinking about that a lot later.
Anyway, uh Tiffany Jackson didn't die. Her best friend though died. That's
Oh,
what I was thinking of.
Jesus.
Tiffany is still alive, but her best friend Jessica Gordon, she died at like 38.
Oh,
Anyway,
God.
I know. Whatever. We're moving on. So Christmas is everywhere, and so where do we go? Sorry, it's so.
Happy birthday, Jesus.
Happy birthday, Jesus.
Tiffany's still alive, but the friend is dead.
Mm, mm. I love Tiffany too. She had beautiful violet eyes, and I always told her, no, hashtag, your schoolmate is gay. As I was like, one day I said, you know who you look like? She said, who? I went, you look just like Delta Burke. Oh
That was
God.
the nut. The
That
Lutz went
that
out in
yeah.
Georgia.
Yes, it was. All right. So Shawn basically says he's talking about his mom having too much stuff. And so Alliya,
I can't stop picturing the house, like, blowing up from, like, a meth lab
yeah,
exploding,
yeah.
and just there's, like, a reindeer, like, in
That's
half on
flying.
the
Yeah.
sidewalk. It just
Oh
goes
yeah.
flying.
I'm pretty sure her dad's dead now.
Oh,
Overdose.
God.
Um, it's fine. I should look her up on Facebook. I haven't talked to her in
You
years.
should.
See what's going on. Anyway, so Alliya goes and gets a gift. And meanwhile, mom and Shawn are talking. She's like, are you nervous? And he says, I don't want to hear their concerns about the trans thing. Now, he says, we did meet that one horrible friend. So maybe he thinks that that friend is going to be like that. Although I don't
Yeah.
feel like that friend is a normal. I'm in the queer community, literally in West Hollywood. I've been to that bar twice
Yeah.
they were at.
Yeah.
People I know wouldn't care, wouldn't be about this trans thing. It'd be more like his friend that we meet later.
Mhm.
But, and mom's like, you do whatever you need to do. You be happy. And she's like, are you 100% happy? And he's like, well, no. He's like, you're never 100% happy, but I'm 60%, which we get into a whole discussion about happiness, but Jake's never happy. So this is
Yeah.
just, but different
And
strokes. for
some
different
part
folks.
of being happy is a choice. Uh,
Yeah, for sure.
some is life circumstances and all of that, and personality, DNA, but probably there's part of it that's a choice, I think.
Exactly. So, anyway, so later on, they're going to the party. They're late because they're waiting for Aaliyah to finish her makeup. Shawn's like, "Whoa, I thought I was gay, and now I'm waiting for my wife to finish my makeup." I don't love those jokes, but
I don't yeah,
how long do you think they were late for?
oh god. Well, at least an hour.
At least I think 2
Mm,
hours.
2 it might have been 2 hours. Meanwhile, Mina is like, "That's nothing."
Me is
I
like,
was
that's
4
nothing, bitch.
hours late.
I do think where it's a different. I think Mina is very much like people can wait for me. I don't care. I think Aaliyah has probably so much anxiety. She can't
Yes.
leave the house unless she
Yes.
looks a certain way. Again, I wish Mary Payne was here because I know that she would. Well, I always wish Mary Payne was here because she's my friend. But I want you. What do you think? Because I know you have opinions, but what do you think Mary Payne would have said about Aliyah's dress to this engagement party?
I think she would say, "It's a sack. Why is there no shape going on? She has a figure. Why is she not showing off her cute little figure? And what were those feathers on the bottom? I thought it was gonna fly up." Now, to me, I thought she was almost giving a Barbara Streisand '60s look, with the feathers. The dress grew on me. At first, I thought, "Oh, no. That's what she chose? Why?" I did not like it at first. But then I saw there was a little cinch in the back, and I thought, "Okay, it's growing on me." It would not have I just don't think it was her top choice. I think there have to have been other things. She's so pretty. There were so many other things she could have
So
chosen.
pretty. I hated
I
the
just
color. The color
I
was
why is
gross.
it
The
dark brown?
brown.
Yeah, mm-mm,
It did not
no.
do anything. I hated it. It
Yeah.
looked like a couture burlap sack.
Yeah, yeah.
I hated it.
Uh-uh.
The
It didn't fit the occasion of being outside at, like, a f it just didn't feel right.
no.
She's so pretty. I could think of 4 other things she wore in this episode that would have been better.
Yeah, and then with the hair too, it was like Jennifer Lopez on tour in
Yeah,
2003. It was too much.
in
I
her
just
talking head, she's gorgeous and her hair is down and
yeah,
flowing and yeah,
yeah, yeah. Agreed, agreed, agreed. Um, so they're showing up and Sean's like, I haven't told them anything. I haven't prepped them at all, which I think is actually cruel. I think
yeah,
that I said it on our show. When you love someone, and if you're worried about somebody having a negative reaction, you tell that person, hey, my partner is trans. If you
yeah,
have a problem with it, don't come to this dinner. If not,
yeah,
we'd love to see you there.
yeah.
And because you do
You just
that to
don't want
protect
any
the person
looks.
you love.
Yes, you don't want them to have any looks or people, like, looking them up and down, trying to figure out, are they trans? Like, you don't want any of that for them.
No, and then they show up, and here comes Sean's daughter, Kayla, looking like she just walked out of fucking Portland with dyed
Yes.
hair and cool clothes, and immediately is like, "Hi, I'm Kayla. What are your pronouns?" And
Yeah.
you're like, "The fuck?" And then, is the son gay as hell?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think so. I clocked just like a voice little, like,
a
lilt or
voice,
something.
a voice, a voice, a
And a
purse
look.
from Forever 21 fell out of his mouth when he said hi. R.I.P. Forever 21. Um,
Is it gone for good?
uh,
Or it just Mal's gone for good?
I can't believe that. I can't believe I said Forever 21 on a Mary Payne show about purse. I should have said, it was like a purse from the real fell out of his mouth. Y'all know the real.
Yeah.
That's where I get my purses. Oh, I love my Dooney and Book or whatever it's called. I love it.
Use pink shade code
Use
20.
pink shade quote 20, y'all. Pink shade.
Yep.
Ginger, don't eat your poop. She's gonna kill me.
She does love a purse talk, Mary
Oh,
Payne. She loves to analyze, is it real? How much did she spend on it? I
she
Googled it.
loves.
I found this exact purse. Yeah.
She could have a podcast just called Purse Talk.
Yes, purse talk. Uh-huh.
Habla la cartera. Um, so anyway, I don't know why I'm so gay that I know what purse is in Spanish.
I know, shoe store, zapateria.
The bateria. Okay, so the son is great, and Sean says, I know Sean distances himself from family and friends, but she said, but they looked happy. And she's like, and this felt wonderful because some people on my mom's side of the family don't accept me. So it meant a lot to me that they were so warm. And then Sean makes a comment about if things don't go well, they'll just send her back to Brazil. And immediately, I'm sure you came off the couch when he said this.
Yeah, I don't like that. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm.
So fucking gross. And even Austin, Sean's friend said, well, that's a beautiful way to put it. So what I think we're learning, I think Sean is that bitchy gay friend that it
Yeah,
just can't be happy about anything.
yeah.
And it makes me wonder if that's the reason he's in this type of relationship with Alliya, because in LA, when people meet him, they're like, "Oh, you're kind of sarcastic and funny." But then you go on like 3 dates with that person and you're like, "Oh, that's all they are, because that person is
Yeah.
unhappy. Fuck this.
Yeah.
I don't want to be with that person." And that's why
Uh-huh.
he's trying to date some little twink in Brazil.
Uh-huh.
So
And his mom seems just so happy and joyous, but, just, like, would have I'd like to go to Disneyland with her, I think she'd be fun.
she'd be
Shawn would
fun.
just bitch the whole time, you know? And I get it, I'm sometimes very unhappy, but it's
Yeah, but
he
you
he's very privileged and could have if I was his age, I would be like, "Let's just enjoy life. Let's just have fun, you know?
he's
Let's
had an
be
amazing,
happy."
incredible life. You
Yeah.
have a dress for a fucking a Babs
Barbara's
dress.
yeah,
Like, you have a blessed life. There's so much for you to
absolutely.
enjoy and be happy. But it's such, if you're not happy now, you're not gonna be happy later. So you better
Yeah,
fucking figure that shit out now, people, because it's not gonna
yeah,
happen when you get the money, the house,
yeah.
the baby, the dick.
And
It's not gonna
and I
happen.
yeah, and I
The
don't like this
bidet.
whole, like, "Well, whatever well, whatever happens, marriage, we'll try it out. I'm probably gonna die, it's fine." It's like you're playing with someone's life. She has her whole life ahead of her, and she's not a prop for you to have on
No.
your arm. Like, she's a person, this is her life.
No, even the friend Alfred is like, "We love you. We're so glad you're here." He's like, "Why didn't you tell me how beautiful? Why have you told us about this beautiful creature before?" All the things, like, Alfred is basically like, um, um, he's basically like being like Robin Williams from The Birdcage right now, just trying to
Yes.
make Diane Wiest and Gene Hackman comfortable. And
Yeah.
so, again, current references only. Uh,
Only.
as we like to say on the y'all like to
But,
say on
like,
this
does
show.
Shawn ever say to Aliyah, "You look so beautiful"?
I don't think so.
He just doesn't seem happy that she's there even, like,
No,
even
he
when
doesn't
she
wanna
came
be
in the
there.
airport, it's like she came down the airport, it was not like, "Oh my god, you're so beautiful, I love you so." It was just like,
Sean
let's
Mary
get out of
Payne's
here,
gonna
there's
hate.
traffic."
Yeah, exactly. Mary Payne's gonna hate that I'm saying this. Sean wants 22-year-old Latino exotic bussy. That's what
Yeah,
he wants, y'all. Bussy, bussy, bussy. And he thought he was getting that, and then Aaliyah flipped the script,
yeah,
and now he's like, "Oh, fuck. I do have feelings for this person." I don't think there's anything it's hurtful, but as a gay man, I don't know what I would do, but if I was I'm very in this part of my life, I'm very pro dick.
mhm,
So if I was with someone, like, initially starting to date now, if I'm with someone for, like, we're fully in love or we're married, or
right, it's been
that's a different
years, yeah,
thing.
yeah,
But when they weren't that long into the relationship, I believe, when
right,
Aaliyah transitioned, I would have said, "Hey, I would love to be your friend, but this is not I done the wife thing. I really want to be with someone that has male anatomy. I'm so sorry if that's offensive to you, but I think that's
mhm.
okay to own that. It might be
It's
hurtful.
fine, there's
It's
no enemies here, there's no, like, villain in this story.
no, and he should
He
have done
just needs
that.
to say, "This is not what I wanted, and I'm happy for you that you're happy, but, I need to let you go to live your best life because I'm just gonna be not into this the whole time, and that's not fair
No.
to you."
And he tries to say, "Well, I'm not a good texter." His friend was like, "Bullshit, you're a great texter." Like,
Yeah,
even and Alfred's even's like, "This is great. We're happy for you." It's not it's that she's so young and it's figuring out her life and you're basically done.
yeah,
And what the fuck? And then Sean makes that comment like at dinner does exactly what Aaliyah asked him not to do. He's making jokes about their age. And he's like, and if things don't work out, he says at the table, well, maybe immigration will come and take her away.
what the heck was that? Yeah, that's not a funny joke,
That was so fuck this guy. That's gross. Fuck this guy.
and I know he said that, like, probably last year when they were filming. Still not funny, never funny.
Still not funny. Never funny. Okay. We got 2 more people, and shall we move on? And then we
Yeah,
can okay. I don't know how long y'all usually go, so I'm sorry if we're going way longer than normal, but
no, it's fine. I
Okay.
think we have 3 more couples.
We still need to talk about, we still need to talk about Shekinah and Sarper, and Greg and
Greg and
Joan.
Joan.
And that's it,
Uh, oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Just two.
You're right. We don't need to talk about Juan and Jessica.
No, Cal Patty's not here. And Juan Hanks,
Yeah.
oh God. Oh God, he's not here. He's
Can
with
I just
Wilson.
say I was more revolted by the macaroni soup, the mac and cheese soup, than I am by anything the Thruple has ever done. That was
It was
nasty.
it was pretty nasty. It was very nasty.
And also, I agree with you that Megan is dangerous.
Well, you know what? I will say this. So we posted a meme, and Jessica, I think even in the meme, like I did the voice of Jessica and I put my hands over my face as her bangs.
Yes.
And she like LOL'd it and smiled, like laughed. She said, "Oh my God." And it said, "You have to watch this," and tagged Megan. And Megan watched it and she was like, "This is hilarious."
Okay,
So
good. McGinn
maybe
was on Pillow Talk, and she like, who did she talk to? Tim and Veronica. They're doing
uh-huh.
this thing on Pillow Talk all season where they're calling people from the show and
Oh, okay.
acting like it's a very organic thing. Like, I just
Mhm.
found her on social
Hey,
media.
sure.
Hey, we're just it's not set up at all by production. But she seemed much better. She seemed much less psycho.
Maybe she was playing the villain. Maybe they needed somebody for it. And maybe, I don't know. I
Or
mean,
maybe when she's having sex with her husband Herbie, she talks about how Juan cheated and he's so over it and
yeah.
she can't let it go.
Mhm. I do feel it feels very Rebecca De Mornay. That's what I've said before.
It really does.
Single white
It
female.
really does.
But also I love that Jessica, y'all, we call her Cow Patty on our show. So that when we say Cow
Yeah.
Patty, that's what we mean. But I love that Jessica calls him Juan Hanks.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy, y'all. Because if you don't think he doesn't look like Tom Hanks, you're mistaken. Look
He
again,
really
y'all.
does.
He really fucking
He really
does.
does, actually.
Anyway, oh Wilson, oh God, I'm on a boat. Okay, so there's pirates. Oh God, I'm a captain. Okay. Anyway, I know it sounds just like Tom Hanks. It's like he's here.
It's like he's here. Hi, Tom.
Shekinah and Sarper. So they're with the robot brigade
Oh
here.
my God.
We've had several of our sissies, our listeners, that live up there in Whitefish, where it said that this town is super bougie, super wealthy. It's trendy right now, and they said yes, these sisters are extra, and also would fit exactly in with the vibe of the town.
Wow. Wow.
So, but they said it's
And
one
the
of the most,
boyfriend.
and the boyfriend, who's I found out because Caitlin, who does social media for us, he's from Canada, and Caitlin like knows him. She's realized she's seen Shekinah's sister before in
Oh, wow.
Toronto. So, but she said he's a tattoo artist.
Okay. That makes sense.
So, okay. But
I was
anyway,
just so distracted by all of them and their lips and the hair and the outfits that I did not notice that Shekinah is wearing a cardigan that shows off her middle boob area. It
yeah,
shows off the boob crevice and
yeah,
it's a cardigan. I've never seen that before.
it's modest. It's a modest a boob cardigan, modest one, I guess. It really is. It does look like though they're all in like a Hot Topic convention, and she's at
Yes.
Ann Taylor.
Yeah.
Well, what's the slutty version of Ann Taylor?
Yeah, I know.
Um, Rachel Taylor. I don't know.
Sure. Sure. Candy Taylor.
Candy Taylor. Yes,
Yeah.
Candy Taylor. All right. No offense to Rachel's or Candy's.
No.
So they're sitting there, and that's where Sarper admits he's like, "Look, I've learned a lot," and he said, I've calmed way down now." And then one of the sisters, I don't remember. They're talking. Jay's the boyfriend, but Shariah, the sister who's the one who met him in Turkey, is like, you don't grab things anymore. You still have anger issues, and he's like, "I've had them, but I've worked on them." And then Zanaya, the other sister, asked a good question: "How do you stay calm?" That's a great question, I think.
Yeah.
And Sarper provided a great answer. He's like, you have to love and respect the person you live with, and blah, blah, blah. I love this quote where he's like, I feel like I'm on the Matrix and I'm dodging the bullets. Um, but Sarper says, look, I was different then. I didn't care what you think. I was rude and I apologize. And now I'm trying to make her happy. And he apologizes again for the turkey visit. And then we find out they weren't together that long at all whenever he fucking met her to begin with. They didn't really, as Shekinah says, we didn't really know each other.
Yeah, that was still pretty new in their relationship when he
Yeah.
calls her a slut and a
Slut.
bitch.
Bitch. It was the way
And he
did
was
it
still
too.
measuring out her grains of rice to
Oh,
eat. So
really one
so
of
her
the
weight
best
stayed
moments of
at
90
a
Day. Just so wonderful. So yes, so she brings this up. Shariah says, you know, she acts like she takes the apology, but she doesn't, y'all. I think the other sisters are kind of warming to him. You can't tell. As Sarper says, I could not tell what they were thinking. That's because none of their faces can move.
None. Yeah.
And they're mean girls. Like that's just that
They're
club, you know, where you don't like show emotion. They're Kardashians.
Mhm.
Um,
They've adopted a Kardashian voice, face, and personality.
yeah, it's it's a problem. That's what I want to say to people. I'm going to be a gay single man telling you how to raise your daughters out there. But if your daughter is starting to do this shit, you nip that in the bud right now.
Yes. Yes. And I said to Mary Payne, I feel really bad for Shekinah's daughter and again, like Darcy and Stacey's daughters, like Darcy's daughters. Like when you see your mom like becoming this whole different person, becoming a Bratz doll, like
Mhm.
you have to feel somewhat bad about yourself that like she's making herself look less like you and she's changing to fit what men want, I guess, now, or what society is telling them they
Possibly.
should look like.
I do love
And
though how Darcy's daughters troll her there. That's my
they're
favorite.
so great. The Miss Piggy line after they came
Oh,
back from their surgery.
yes. Yes. So maybe they know that like I don't know. I would love to meet Stacy's sons and see what they're
I
like.
would too. Yeah.
But anyway, que sera.
But the fact that Shariah that has the nerve to say, I just don't think he's being genuine. I don't think he's a genuine person. I was like, bitch, everything about you is fake.
Yeah, when I laughed like a hyena when she said it, and she's just standing there with Gary the tattoo or whatever the fuck his name is,
Yeah.
looking like he's like in wearing sunglasses inside.
Yeah. The tinted like yellow
Yeah,
ones and his
come
whole
on.
he has like a weird cowboy aesthetic and Native American jewelry and
Yeah,
like
and you're
yeah,
white as fuck.
he
Sure.
looks like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, but like some other movie. Like it's a whole I was like, Shariah, your whole personality, your whole face, your whole aesthetic is fake.
Okay, I'm
You
like,
just
bitch.
jump
I'm
on
from
whatever the
Oklahoma.
latest trend is. Whatever
Yeah,
the latest trend is. That's what you're doing.
exactly. Whatever the lady. That's exactly what she's doing. I'm from Oklahoma, and I don't wear Native American jewelry because I know it's not appropriate.
Yeah.
Whatever. Maybe he's native. I don't know. I don't give a shit. Okay, so they're getting ready to leave, and the next later on, Sarper and Shekinah are getting ready to leave, and she's like, you know, I think it's a wait and see, but it went pretty well. They just care about your actions. And she kind of says, I just, you know, she says to the camera, I just need to make sure that we see some changes and that his actions do line up. Cut to 1 week later. They are fighting, and production posts a little chyron telling us that Shekinah recorded the audio of their fights, and he's not saying very nice things to her.
Why is she recording him?
I don't know. It did make me wonder a little bit, is this fraudacity?
Right.
Like, are they good? And they're just like, hey, y'all, this is going
Or is
so
she
well.
more concerned in the middle of a fight that I get this on tape for the show than the
I
fact
mean,
that my
kudos to
relationship is
you. I
falling
would.
apart?
That too. Well,
Or
but
you think this fight was fake?
it could
They're
be either way. 'Cause
acting.
now that you say it depends on her a little bit of her raising because as Mars, I've recorded a couple of fights without telling people just because when you're a Mar, you record shit because you just never know what you're
Mm,
gonna need to blackmail someone or use in a
interesting.
court of law.
Okay.
I learned that from my Aunt Darla. So
Interesting.
yeah, she used that on both husbands, and that's how from the second husband she was able to get $200 a month in child support from that motherfucker. So yeah, she played that right in front of Judge Tate, in front of the courtroom and everything, humiliated that man,
So in
screaming at
Oklahoma, you can
her.
record someone without their knowledge, and it can
This
be a court
this
of
was
law.
the late '80s,
Okay.
so I think things were probably a little different then. Also,
The
Judge
Wild
Tate was a
West.
family
Yeah.
friend, but because he and I had done musical theater together at Ardmore Little Theater, so I knew him well, and we were in Showboat together.
Oh my
Anyway,
god.
but so I will. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, y'all, if y'all come fighting at me, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be recording. I'm just saying, where are we? I feel like I incriminated myself. So yes, they're fighting, and she's like, what is your problem? And he's like, it is your face. So do I think Sarper has been changing everything? And do I feel like she's been a little bit grinding or poking him
Yes.
like you keep got to changing? It's all on you. It's all on
Yeah.
you. We can't forget to this guy has diagnosable anxiety disorder, OCD, like
Yes.
truly. So this
Yes.
is a lot for him to combat and do on his own. I actually think it's pretty incredible what Sarper has done.
Yeah. And he's so attached to his parents, and to leave them, like,
Yes. So I can understand this.
and then she's like, "I've done so much for him. I cleaned out my closet to make room for his," like, that was the first thing she said. That was her sacrifice.
I mean, now she's packing up her shit so they
Yes,
have
that's she
space.
should have done that in the first place.
She should have done that in the first place. I get it. LA's an expensive city, but I'm like, honey, like,
Yeah.
uh, come on. Um, Sarper calls his cousin and talking to her, and she's like, her cousin's like, well, this is what I worried about is that you would fight, and then there would be nowhere for you to go
Right.
because you both have these knockdown, drag out fights. And Sarper's like, says, I booked a flight. And he even goes in specifics. He's like, I booked a flight. It wasn't economy, but it was at least, wasn't business class, but it was comfort. I was like,
I'm
looking
not
forward
even getting
to,
points for it
no,
because it's a
no
different
point.
airline than I normally use.
I even chose, I chose the beef for my entree. But I did not press OK. I did not select that ticket. I almost did. But I knew once I did, there was no going back. And those mashed potatoes would not be good. So that was Sarper kind of having his moment of crisis.
The
And
cousin is right, though, because this is one of the things when they were back in Turkey, Shekinah said, "I'm worried about when we fight, like, can I kick him out of my house?" And she kept saying, like, "My house," and, like, "Why does one of you always have to leave when you fight?" Like, this is also weird because she would go stay at a hotel when they would fight in
mm-hmm,
Turkey, and now
mm-hmm,
he just has to walk around that sad little park when they fight
mm-hmm.
because, like, that he doesn't know anywhere, and he's not allowed to go to the beach by himself. So,
No.
there
Well, also the
it's
beach is
sad.
like 40 fucking minutes away.
Very far,
It's very
very
far.
far, yeah.
There's really, y'all, there's nowhere really to go in North Hollywood.
No,
No. There's
no.
no.
No, they trying to make
No.
it like the arts district, and it's
It's getting
just
better, but
it's
yeah, it's
getting
still
it's there's no yeah, he could go to the, like, Hollywood, the
there's good dick
Museum
there.
of Motion History.
Good
Uh,
dick. There are a lot of broke actors with some good dick.
yeah,
Mhm. I've
I
heard.
do love I do love that he said "your face," which I know he just meant this expression on her face, but it is funny because she has changed her face so dramatically.
He has changed it dramatically.
For him, he designed that nose.
He did. He did a good job. Her nose looks great.
Yeah,
Um, he's basically getting it with he can't continue to end like this. We have to change this. It's up to her. And she's like, it's up to him.
yeah.
We'll see. Let's move on. Our final couple, Greg and Joan. Lucille, the star of this segment.
Yeah, really.
Truly. Do you like Lucille?
Um, I've go from episode to episode.
Do you like
I didn't.
watching Lucille? That's a better
I
question.
love watching
Yeah, I do
Lucille.
too. Me
I
too.
do not like the constant monitoring of the
No,
showering.
I don't
Um,
either.
uh, some of her, yeah, I don't. A lot of her I don't like, but I really enjoyed her in this episode. I did want to go back to the socks from last week because I was listening to your episode with Jake, and Mary Payne and I are such prudes that we did not put together that perhaps there are so many unmatched socks because he is jizzing in all of the other ones, their
Mhm.
mates.
I
I'm
didn't put that
embarrassed for it.
together. I didn't put it together too, because I'm not disgusting like Jake is, but Jake did put it together, and I wish I could say he was wrong.
Yeah.
I
I
don't think
felt
he
like a
was.
Carl's wife. So I'm very glad that you were saying that you also
Are you
did
are
not
are
pick
you
up
going
on
to
it.
tell Mary Payne this on the show?
She's gonna listen.
Oh,
So
oh,
I
she
mean,
already listened. She's already yelling,
yeah.
"Stop." She's wishing she has her stop. How do
Yeah,
you
there's
say
your
stop in
sign.
French? I don't know. Because if I'm with a
Also,
Frenchman, you're never stopping.
all of the socks were black or white. They were the same men's sports socks. So this didn't have to get this far. This whole
Mm.
situation could have been avoided a long time ago.
I think the
You just
socks are a
match them
metaphor for
together.
Joan and for Greg.
Yes, I think so
Mhm.
too. Yeah.
So now she doesn't live with dad, but dad is mentioned in this, but he doesn't just
Yeah.
so they must be divorced, I guess. I'm
Yeah.
assuming. Okay. Um, so Lucille's outside. She comes up. First time I think on 90 Day Fiance, we've had the subtitle of "Yous"
Yes.
on "What are yous doing?"
What are you doing?
Loved it. Made me laugh so much. And Joan, of course, just got out of the shower, and Lucille's like, "Ah, you took a shower." And
That is new top tier passive aggressive saying, I'm going to incorporate it into my world. I'm just going to just walk up to somebody and be like, "Oh, you took a shower. Must be nice."
must
Like,
be not. It is.
it's
Must be
so
nice.
passive aggressive.
It's so passive aggressive.
Even when it
Um,
doesn't apply, I'm going to say it to someone.
I respect this. Very much so.
Also, why does she walk up the stairs like, "Am I interrupting?" Like, does she think she's gonna walk in on them, like, doing it doggy style, and Greg has a ball gag in his mouth with the door open? What does she
He
think is going on
does
in the
that.
middle of the day with the door open? "What am I'm coming up the stairs."
Well, Lucille knows why there's a bunch of extra socks.
She's
She knows,
figured it out.
Kimberly. She knows. She knows that Greg, he
Ugh.
he likes to just
He's
bake
been living it with
bread.
her since he was a
Yes,
teenager.
all he does is bake bread and masturbate. And she knows
Mhm.
every time she eats a piece of bread that his hands have touched that and touched something else
Oh
repeatedly,
god.
at
Ugh,
least 4 times a day, I'm sure.
I can't.
Anyway, um, again, Mary Payne is horrified. Uh,
Yeah.
so, um, anyway, but it changes though because then Lucille looks around and goes, "Oh, your room's nice. Your room, you did a good job." And she's like, that changes when Joan's here. And so
Yeah.
she's starting to admit that she sees what Joan's doing around the house. And and she brings up, she's like, having the wedding here. Basically, y'all, she says, like, there's gonna be a lot of people. She's like, I remember this hall where your sister had her baby shower. And I thought this would be cool. And Greg's like, well, I thought it'd be cool to have the wedding in the house. The chickens can run around. We can set up chairs. And Lucille's like, yeah, the weather. And
Don't chickens poop everywhere?
yes. And also, if I'm going to a wedding and I see that you have chickens running about, guess what? I'm stealing a piece of cake and I'm leaving your wedding.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I can't, I'm terrified the entire ceremony. I can't do this.
Yeah.
Y'all know I have a bird phobia, or y'all don't, but
And
I
then
do.
Renee is gonna show up, try to
Yeah,
steal some of the
you're
chicken.
saying your vows like, and I, Greg, take you. And people are like, is Jenny here? Submit. Like, is that what's happening? My mother-in-law loves me. She loves me. You want to go shopping, Mom? Submit won't get a job. And then she lays an egg. So I, yes, I Also, what Greg doesn't understand, Jake and I went into a long thing about this, but basically, y'all, if you're going to have your wedding at a venue that's not used to doing weddings, you're going to do a lot of fucking work and pay sometimes way more fucking money than you ever
Yes.
would have if you just
Yeah.
have it at a fucking venue. Also, and
Yeah.
Lucille knows this, and Lucille knows she's going to be doing all of this because Greg is
Greg has
so.
ideas. He's like, "Oh, I'll just make the food." You're gonna make the food for all those people? No,
I
you're
think
not.
he definitely has, and I mean this in not the way people say they have. Oh, they're like, oh, I have ADD, like I have OCD. No, I think he actually probably has ADD. He
Yeah.
seems like very much a lot of the symptoms. It seems like he is always starting and never finishing.
Yes, I'm gonna start a bakery. What steps have you
How
taken?
exactly?
No steps. And unless he gets control of all this, and then when he said a C was good enough for him in school last week,
Yes, yeah.
and Joan is just so driven, I just feel like, Joan, you will never be satisfied. You will
I
never be
I don't know.
satisfied.
That is, but maybe because I feel like Joan likes to mother people and be in charge. So
If she's allowed to take control, do the books, I think, yeah, she could whip him into shape.
yes, I guarantee you, and that's what Greg wants because Greg's been with his mother his whole life. I guarantee you, this relationship is going to work out, and Lucille and Joan are going to be best friends and control
Yeah,
Greg's life together, and they're going to
I
love it.
love that. I
I
love that
I think
plan.
that's what's going to happen.
Mhm.
Okay, so Lucille again is like, well, I don't know. I think it would be better. I think we could do it. And Lucille says, well, you only have a budget for $5,000 for 75 people.
He just
This
doesn't know things.
this is not a wedding even in fucking Lone Grove, Oklahoma, where maybe
No,
you
he
could
just
do
has
that.
no idea. You could just
This
do a
is
simple
in
Google search to find out how much a
We're in
wedding would
Long
cost.
Island. Like, this is
Yeah.
not cheap. Like, I know in LA, a 75-person wedding's at least 20 grand, if not 30
Oh,
or
yeah.
40.
Oh, yeah. I
Eh,
know someone who's spent 250,000 on a wedding,
yeah. When
and it was a
I
disaster because the wedding planner disappeared after the ceremony. We never cut the cake.
Whoa, I'm gonna need to hear that story later.
It was a
Um,
lot.
wow. Wow. Okay,
There
now
were
now
tears.
you
Yeah.
distracted me now. I'm like, "What? I need to know more of this." No, when I believed in love and thought I wanted to get married, no, I don't, because men are terrible. But I was kind of planning on, okay, we're gonna spend about $100,000 on a wedding. I just kind of
Yeah.
assumed, and that's not even a crazy ostentatious wedding.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
um,
They're expensive,
they're
and
very
he just
expensive.
doesn't know. It's just
Mhm,
like another dream, like the bakery.
mhm. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, all of his dream. And so, anyway, and then Joan, girl, this is the thing about Joan that gets her in trouble sometimes. She doesn't know when to say things because she's just so blunt. And she's like, well,
Yeah.
Andy has to pay the dowry. Lucille
Yeah.
doesn't get this at all. She is
No.
not understanding this. I mean, she's like, well, he took you to Costco. Remember, he bought all that
Yeah.
big, like 30 chicken. You ate like 4 of them. Can that go towards the dowry, please?
Yeah. Can we put on maybe a tally of how much he's
Yeah,
spent on you on food so far, and then we could take that off the amount, and then he just has to pay the remaining
yeah.
balance
You used a
over
lot of
maybe
toilet paper. I'm just
36
saying.
months?
Yeah. It's I will say this is nice that we don't get this a lot from the American. Greg had literally said, I'm so glad somebody said there's thousands of years of culture on her side for this.
Yes.
It's not going to change with me. This is a
Yeah.
culture. Like, he gets it and he's
He
annoyed at his
gets it.
mom. But so I appreciated that. But I think Lucille is just too set in her ways, too old. She's not going to get it.
Yeah.
Not going to get it. Just why don't you just give them some of the chickens? Just ship them over. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Probably not. Probably wouldn't
How
make it.
many chickens make one cow? That's the
Oh,
question,
yeah, it'd
really.
be a lot of cocks.
Yeah.
Well, chickens aren't cocks, but you know what I mean. Anyway, so this is a big deal. The 3 of them are driving to the venue. We'll find out later that Greg and Joan are like, they don't know what's happening because they don't know that they're on an episode of Extreme Wedding Makeover or something like whatever.
Yes.
Um, we meet a wonderful character named Mike from Marconi Manor.
I love him.
This man Literally, it's like if Joe Pesci showed up on 90 Day Fiance. It was what? Bring back Joe Pesci. I want to see him and shit.
I love Joe Pesci.
I do too.
He's still with us, right?
Oh, people only die on Jake and I's show. I'm going to say that.
I know.
That's a reality, gaze. We're not starting this on Pink Shade. We're not starting this. So they're at this place called Marconi, man. Y'all, it's just the most cute little Italian.
He's 2. God bless him.
He's 82.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Did you look it up?
Yeah, I just Googled it. You think I knew that?
Yeah, I was like, did they say his age? Like Mike 82? I'm like, why would they ages him? Why would they do
Joe
that?
Pesci is 82.
Oh, I thought I was like, you found that quickly? Mike from Marconi Mana's age that quickly? Wow, you are a fucking detective.
I went to Marconi Manor and then on our About Us page, and it has all the staff and their
Mike
ages.
Marconi, 82. From the Knights of Columbus. Oh, God. All right, we've got, youth have gone over astray. So the shocking thing to me about this, it's only going to cost $9,000 to have this wedding. What was your reaction when he said that amount?
I thought, does that include the alcohol?
It does.
For the
Open
bar?
Oh, it's very cheap alcohol.
It's cheap there we go. And the food, I was shocked. I thought it would be at least twice that.
I screamed, do it. Do it.
Yes. Do
it. Anyway, and Greg is
they're still going to need to get a Jonah dress though. But I think with her body, her rockin' bod, she can walk in and just buy something and it'll look amazing.
I think she's going to look beautiful. And Joan even has, Joan even says, well, this is very beautiful, I admit. And Lucille's like, people pay way over this for weddings, Greg. And Greg's like, yeah, I don't know. I wanted to bake the bread. I wanted to cook. And so finally he's like, it's a little over budget. And Lucille's like, look, why don't you put in $1,000 and your father and I will do the rest?
I was not expecting that.
Whoa, I did not expect this.
Also, I didn't know there was a dad in the picture.
Yeah, I was like, a lot of information just got dumped on us. Joan,
do we think they got a discount for the show? Because they're going to be on the show.
Good point. Lucille's a hacker. She's like, look here. Look,
yes,
Mike, if you want, my son's on this show. What's a show? What's it called? It's called Fiance for a while. Well, you never heard of it. Fiance for a while. Never heard of it. It's a big show.
Called My Son's Fiance Takes Too Many Long Showers.
Yeah, she's like, look, Mike, this woman takes so many showers a day. My water bill sky. Oh God, my sister Clarice used to do that. My father.
Are they hot water showers? Yeah, I heard you guys say I put a temperature gauge in the shower, so I know it's hot water.
My cousin Antonio, when he stayed with it, used all the hot water. Then suddenly now they're just bitching about their family. And he's like, look,
I'll give it to you for $9,000. Sure.
And Jake said, I'll make you a deal you can't refuse. And
you got a lot going on, Lucille.
You got a lot going on.
You're a nice lady. Your son is a loser. He doesn't have a job. Yeah. He can't even get one of those state jobs I hear he's always turning down. So it's fine.
Lucille, he was masturbating with a sock at the interview.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
You need a break, I think.
Well, Joan's like, I don't want to be a burden, but she's obviously touched. Greg is crying, and Lucille says to Joan, I want to do something nice for her. She is always giving to you. I see her helping out and how much she loves you. And I went, well, this is adorable.
This is so sweet because last week you said, I can't believe she told me I need to leave the house more. I just think she's not a grateful person. So now you're like, she now seems very appreciative.
Now seems very, but I will say, I don't care what, I'm going to say it on our show. I don't care what fucking culture you're from. You do not tell someone that they need to leave their own house more.
Their own house.
Sorry. Yeah. I can't
on the
imagine.
Deed. She's on the deed. You can't. Yeah.
I don't imagine anyone anywhere in the world where they go, sure.
I
Like,
mean, Lucille did say, tell me what's bothering you. Can tell me if there's something that you do. I can take it. Tell me.
I was
That
like,
was a trap.
Joan is not a
She
dumb
said
person, though.
she fell.
Joan was just being a bit, as Joan said, I was testing her.
I
She
was
was being
testing her.
bitchy in that moment.
Yeah. I think she's bored without a job and
She's
she's
like,
like
yeah,
gonna
I'm
just
sorting
play with all these
socks.
people. Yeah.
I need something.
Yeah. I'm
Anyway.
gonna play with these people's emotions.
Emotions. I think that, did we do it? Do we do the thing, Miss Kimberly?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, y'all. That was your episode. So I hope you enjoyed it because Mary Payne's never going to have me on again.
Yeah, I think we said dick too many times,
Mm-hmm.
jizz too many times. The
Bussy.
whole bidet thing. I don't think she's still listening because
I
I
don't
think
even
she
know if she
stopped
knows
after the bidet.
what bussy is. It's y'all. If you don't
I
know, that's
don't.
just you don't know. Oh, bussy is
No, I don't.
ass pussy. A lot of gay
That's
men say,
pretty much what I thought it was.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's not. Yeah, gay men call it their bussy. The bussy.
I love it.
Again, Mary Payne screaming. Stop. We got to explain. We've got to end this. Kimberly, take us out. God
Thank you,
dang.
everybody. Follow Reality Gaze on social media. Subscribe to them. Leave them a 5-star review. My show's A Date with Dateline. Do the same. But most importantly, follow Pink Shade on Instagram because Mary Payne is always a little behind us in
And
followers and she hates it.
She brings it up every time. I don't know why people won't follow me. I mean, I was
Getting to
very
10 was like the biggest thing in the world when she finally got to 10. And then now she's just like, I'm at
I was
11.2.
I don't get it, man. I mean, I was sorority queen at Old Miss when I mean, legacy. My grandmother was, my mother was, and I was too. Everybody knew. I guess I'm not nice to people. I thought I was. But I guess Ginger, stop chewing on that damn toy when I'm talking to my wine friends.
Ingrid, can you find out how we send a message to all the alumnus and find out and get them to follow us on Instagram? Is there an alumni newsletter that we could have an article about Pink Shade in there? I would love to do that. And maybe the president will come on the show. Also, I'm still waiting. Did Matt Sharp email me?
Is Matt Sharp coming on this week?
He still hasn't. Okay. I asked him at that party and he said he would, but
all right.
Not yet.
Well, I'm going to go do
we
my
love you, Mary Payne.
Yeah, I'm going to go do my red light mask. I got to go. I have one of those too because of her, so I can't make fun. All right. Well, thank you for having me on, Kimberly. I loved it.
Thank you.
This
was a joy. Pleasure. We love you. Bye, everybody. We miss you, Mary Payne. We're just kidding. Don't fire me.
We miss you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.